we're going to call the lease amendment hearing to order at 6:30. Mr. Balmer, you want to go from here?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. President. Good evening. Yes, well, this is our public hearing for our lease amendment agreement. Before we jump into that, I'd just like to recap the process thus far. We have had both our 1028 hearings. We've published the notice to our taxpayers. We've held both of those hearings for the construction and the financing piece. The reason behind all this is as we formed our own new district, we quickly realized due to capacity issues, outdated facilities, and future growth coming our way, we needed to get some construction projects on the way to accommodate that growth and current conditions of our buildings. As everybody knows, in recent times, the construction costs have risen greatly, so therefore we have split into two phases for the projects. We're addressing phase 2 with this additional funding. Tonight is public comment to address the lease amendment. We've posted those notices to our taxpayers for the public comment that is open tonight. Again, a couple quick things about the lease amendment. Once we do issue, the bonds is a 22-year from the first amendment to lease, and we have a maximum of $8 million annual rate, and those are the main two components. You will see on the agenda for a discussable item for our regular board meeting for a resolution to be passed. So that's why we are taking public comment first, and I will turn it back over to you.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Ballmer. At this time, we will open up the mic to any stakeholder for the school corporation can address the board at the public hearing. Hearing none, this meeting is adjourned. All right, at this time, we'll call the regular school board meeting to order at 6:32. If we could, please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by the invocation. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you once again that we can gather tonight to make very important decisions for our district. We want to start out by being thankful and showing our gratitude for all the blessings you've given our district. Help us continue to focus on those wonderful things. Thank you for our students, our staff, and our very supportive community. We pray for those that need our prayers tonight, those in Ukraine and many sufferings, and we just pray for peace, and we pray for healing, we pray for comfort during this time. Help us and guide us to make the best decisions for our students each and every day. Thank you for your love. In Jesus' name, amen.
Roll call, Mr. Basham.
Here.
Ms. Bright.
Here.
Mr. Groen.
Present.
And I am present. We have quorum. We are missing Ms. Franklin tonight. This time, Dr. Briggs, do you have any emergency additions or revisions to the agenda?
Yes, I do. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to everyone in the crowd. Nice to see everyone out here this evening. Yes, several revisions to the agenda. First of all, under number 3, approval of minutes. Need to add February 15th, 2022 executive session. Under number 8, consent agenda. Letter A, number 4, approval of the following contracts. Under letter A, the Skillman Corporation's contract, we have 5 additions. Number 1 is A133 2019, standard form of agreement between owner and construction manager as constructor. Number 2 is A133 2019, Exhibit B, insurance and bonds 2021 projects. Number 3, A201 2017, general conditions of the contract for construction. Number 4, Exhibit C, effort schedule, pre-construction services. And number 5, Exhibit C, effort schedule, construction services. Also under consent agenda, letter A, finances. Under number 4, letter C, request to approve service agreement with Johnson Controls. Also under consent agenda, letter B, personnel. Number 2, classified positions. Letter A, request to approve the position of special education behavior support instructional assistant at Silver Creek Primary School. And a note to the board, you have at your table the updated position requisition and job description. Also, under classified positions for classified appointments, number 2, Amanda Hance, Silver Creek Middle School, Special Education Instructional Assistant, posting number 0149, effective date April 11th, 22. Under classified resignations, number 3, Amanda Craven, Silver Creek Primary School Instructional Assistant, effective 4/22/22. Under letter D, technology, request to approve the best quote. We had an additional company there that should only read Trace 3, and the words and CDWG should be crossed out. Under number 2, again, the words CDWG and CMS communications should be crossed out. Number 2 is Trace 3 as well. And that is it for revisions, additions, and deletions.
You've heard Dr. Briggs's revisions and additions to the agenda. Do we have a motion to approve?
Chris, I need a, on A4C, request to approve service agreement with Johnson Controls. I need to pull that out and abstain from that, please.
Let's move that to discussion action items.
Great, thank you.
Dr. Briggs, I'm going to move that to number 2 for a vote, and then slide the Dragon Pals informational slides to number 3.
Okay.
All right, with moving the Johnson Controls contract to discussion action items, we have a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I so move.
Mr. Grohl makes a motion. We have a second.
Second.
Mr. Basham seconds. All of those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Under action item number 3, approval of minutes, we have the approval of March 14th regular school board meeting and the February 15th executive session. We have a motion for approval.
I so move.
Ms. Bright makes the motion. Do we have a second?
A second.
Mr. Basham seconds. All of those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. This time, are you going to do recognition or?
Yep, I will do that.
Tucker.
I'm going to defer. Good evening again. Under recognition this evening, I'm going to defer to the 2 principals who are here that I'm aware of that we have at minimum. So let's start with Dr. Eckert from the high school.
Good evening. Tonight, we'd like to welcome the Silver Creek High School girls basketball team. You guys would walk up this way, find a good place to stand. Of course, the girls had a fantastic season, a historic season. They were Mid-Southern Conference champions for the 2nd time in school history, right? 2 in a row. Sectional, regional, semi-state champions, state runner-ups. Probably the best 2 seasons ever in the history of the school consecutively. Most wins in a season. Broke that record this year. Individually, we had a lot of postseason honors with all-conference honors, all-state honors, academic all-state honors, and we also had Emmy Rooney, who was the Mental Attitude Award winner. And we have one of the neatest things was Kennedy Stuyvesant being named on the Indiana All-Star team. So we're very proud of you guys. Winning is fun, but you guys did it the right way with great attitudes. And the attitude that you showed at the state championship game made me have chills up and down my spine. So I appreciate, the fact that you made me so proud. You made our community so proud. That's a lot. That's a lot of credit goes to you, you guys, and the coaches. We got the first family of girls basketball here with the Shane group. Stacy, right? Brittany. Oh, I'm sorry. God, that's yours, isn't it? Oh, I'm sorry. I got them all. Of course, I watched her play basketball back in the day, and she's probably the best basketball player out of all of them. Okay, well, I'm just saying, I saw her play. I saw you play too, and I saw your brothers play, but I'll tell you what, she was tough. So, and of course, one of the best coaches in Southern Indiana, Randall Shane, still helping us, and Coach Rooney there. So we got a great coaching staff and great kids that make our community proud. So thanks a lot for all you do, and appreciate your efforts. It's wonderful.
I wasn't listening.
Miss Nunn, you next? Are you next? Sorry.
I'd like to welcome Ava Allen up here to introduce you to her. We have another state champion. So Ava competed in and took first place in the Indiana schoolgirl 14 and under wrestling for the season this year. And I'm going to send around a picture. We have a picture of her with her medal and her award. So we are so proud of her. She's going to do incredible things. And we can't be more proud of her. So congratulations, Ava. Maybe they'll give it back and I'll have you autograph it for them. Yeah. So great things are coming from Ava Allen.
Okay, thank you. Do we have any other principals or assistant principals here to recognize those who are present? Mr. Cyphers, thank you. We're good. Okay. Hello. Can you hear me okay? Yep. All right, thank you. Silver Creek Elementary has been working hard on our Dragon Pride initiative. In March, we looked at students that showed dependability. I'd like to share those students' names with you. From second grade, we had Gracie Smith, Ella Dooley, Olivia Haynes, Beckett Love, Maddie Grant, Brinley Chumley, Presley N, Ellie Lloyd, and Memphis Cologne, and Miles Gore. From third grade, we had Emerson Graham, Yemina Munez, Marley York, Max Kaiser, Hadley Johnson, Parker Tuck, Olivia Bailey, and Declan Day. From fourth grade, we had Lily Chuda, Carter Barnes, Kate Bobe, Jada Mertz, Maddie Kaufman, Adeline Shoemaker, Damon DeWitt, and Annalie Morgan, and Madeline Hatfield. And from fifth, we had Lindsay Mollyhorn, Kai Seal, Catherine Lopez, Stella Boyer, Dash Leonard, Lucas Losey, Kale Taylor, Harper Joss, Emma Clark. And again, those students earned the Dependability Award, so we're proud of them. From all of our different classrooms next month, we'll look at efficiency. Silver Creek Elementary has also recently received the designation of family friendly from the Indiana Department of Education. The family friendly schools designation focuses on addressing the academic, physical, emotional, and social needs of students. It specifically looks for schools who provide needed resources and fostering involvement of all families and stakeholders. The program recognizes schools that welcome all families, communicate effectively, support student success, and recognizes diversity within their community to collaborate for the betterment of all students. We are very honored by this designation. We'd like to thank the teachers and staff at SCES for their dedication to our students and their families. Also to Ms. Jacqueline Good for gathering the needed documentation for that submission. Lastly, we'd like to provide the board with an update on our Dragon Dash fundraiser. Students have been working on this since Monday, April 4th. and we set an ambitious goal to raise $25,000 this year for resources to support our school. We're pleased to announce that as of this morning, we surpassed that goal and have raised $33,700. And we'd like to thank our PTO, staff, students, and our family's generosity for that. Thank you. Thank you.
Ms. Campbell, any staff or any recognition?
You may go now, or you may go at the end when you have your comments. It's up to you. Dr. Eckert and Mrs. Nunn, will you have more comments at the end? Okay, why don't we wait? Mrs. Campbell, we'll just wait till the end. Okay. Yep, thanks. Great. Thank you, everyone.
This time, I want to pass along our sincerest condolences to the family and friends of Matthew Higgs, and then also condolences to Jane Sirota on the passing of her stepfather, Dallas Kopp. Ms. Hawkins, Curriculum and Student Services.
All right, good evening. We've only been back from spring break for 7 days, but there are definitely lots of things that are happening. One thing that I want to highlight tonight are specific efforts of our Social Studies Textbook Adoption Committee, including our parent and treasurer representatives. They've spent 3 of those 7 days listening to vendor presentations after school. And so I think that is definitely above and beyond what we typically would ask for them to meet in a month, especially coming off of a 2-week break. So I definitely want to spotlight those folks and the additional time that they've put in to properly evaluate materials. Just some other updates on the area of instruction for the board. Summer school for primary and elementary this summer. The primary will not be offering summer school for the 22 session. And the elementary is still gathering information to determine if summer school will be offered at their building. I'll be able to provide a more detailed update at the April 26th board meeting regarding the elementary. For middle and high school, middle school will offer a 2-week summer school. It will be from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. on June 1st through June 14th. And high school will offer a 4-week summer school, 8 a.m. to 12 p.m., June 1st through June 28th. So each meeting, I will try to give a little bit more information as we continue the planning for our summer school this year. A professional development update. It happened right before spring break. Several teachers attended the NCTM, which is National Conference for Teachers of Mathematics Professional Development in Indianapolis on March 17th and 18th. So a special thanks to the Dragon Pals program for funding this opportunity for Silver Creek teachers to grow and learn in the area of math instruction. An upcoming event that I just want to make sure everybody is aware of, April 18th through May 13th is our iLearn window. And so iLearn measures student achievement and growth according to the Indiana Academic Standards for English and Language Arts in grades 3 through 8, mathematics grades 3 through 8, science grades 4 and 6, and social studies in grades 5. So we just want to remind our parents that this is upcoming and make sure that our students get a good night's rest and prepared to come to school just like we would expect for them to come every other day. So any questions from the board?
No. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
This time we have community input. Beth, do we have anybody signed up? We don't. We'll give any few seconds here if anybody would like to provide community input. You can come to the podium. All right. Dr. Briggs, consent agenda.
Okay, consent agenda number 8. Under finances, we have numbers 1, 2, and 3. Under 3, we have letters A through I. Number 4, we have letter A, 1 through 5. Letter B, letter C. Under personnel, certified positions, we have letters A1 and B1. Under number 2, classified positions, we have letter A, letter B, B1, B2, letter C, C1 through 3, and under number 4, ECA, letter A. Under D, technology, we have numbers 1 through 3, and under E, other, we have number 1, A1, A2, A3, letter B, number 2, number 3. And that is it for a consent agenda.
All right. Any questions on the consent agenda?
Would you mind moving the EB2 to discussion?
Can you read what that is, just so
Yeah.
I'm clear?
It's the request to approve grade level enrollment capacities for out-of-district requests. So it's right before 10.
We have a motion to approve the movement of the request to approve grade level enrollment capacities for out-of-district transfers to action item number 3, replacing the Dragon Pals and moving Dragon Pals discussion to number 4.
I so move.
We have a second.
I'll second.
Mr. Groen seconds. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, do we have a motion to bring to the consent agenda to the floor?
I so move.
Ms. Overberg makes a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Mr. Basham seconds. Any discussion? Hearing none, all of those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes. All right. Number 1 on discussion action items is going to be consider the adoption of lease amendment resolution. Do we have a motion to bring that to the floor?
I so move.
Mr. Groen makes a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Mr. Basham seconds. Any discussion? Hearing none, all of those in favor, please say aye.
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 Those opposed? Motion carries. Number 2 is the request to approve the service agreement with Johnson Controls. We have a motion to bring that to the floor.
I so move.
Ms. Overberg makes a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Mr. Basham seconds. All of those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Those that abstain?
I abstain.
Motion carries 3-0. Number 3 is the request to approve grade level enrollment capacities for out-of-district transfers. Do we have a motion to bring that to the floor?
Didn't we already do that? No. Okay. I so move.
Ms. Bright makes the motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Groen seconds. Any discussion?
The reason I wanted this move is I wanted to just talk about the range of numbers. First of all, I want to say I appreciate the proactiveness to this rather than being reactive. I know there's been a lot of work to go into it now rather than scrambling in the summer, which I think is great. My only concern is with the ranges that we're looking at. The first number I feel is practical, and I know that the range only deviates about 2 or 3 students, but in a classroom, 2 or 3 students can make all the difference. You know, you're dealing with kids that are coming with their own strengths and challenges, and so that's just adding on even more. So I'm concerned that I say all that to say I feel like the range is a little high. And so that concerns me. I know we're always trying to balance finances and capacity. I get that. But then I think we also need to consider teachers' well-being when class sizes start to increase, and also, you know, their ability to be able to get to every student and be able to help them in the best way possible.
Okay, yes. So the capacities that are being recommended are ranges. And that allows us flexibility as opposed to giving a hard number. The principals gave input into these ranges and know that we have to set capacity numbers. And so as we as we reach the bottom of these capacity numbers at any particular grade level, then that signals to us a pause on accepting out-of-district students in that grade level at that point.
I appreciate and commend you getting with the principals as well, because honestly, you have to have their feedback. And I like the range, because ultimately in the end, you know, kind of what Rachel's saying is, yeah, we want to make sure that the teachers are fine, but also the students. And if we need to have that feeling, we have the autonomy to make those changes on the fly. So I appreciate that.
And I'll also throw out that, you know, we're working with moving targets. There's a delicate balance here of when do we cut off, not knowing what's going to happen in the district. And so we want to try to win on both sides of that. We don't want to cut off and then in late July wonder where everyone is, but yet we don't want to approve too many and then have move-ins and class sizes are larger than we would like. These ranges provide us that when we hit that pause button, so to speak, that even if we have some more move-ins, our numbers will still be appropriate.
So if I understood correctly, you said with these ODTs, when we hit the bottom number is when it would signal maybe a pause rather than the top number.
Yes. Yes, and it's also important to also note that we can hit pause anytime we want. We don't have to wait till it hits that bottom number.
Yeah, and these will change as when building projects go. So
Absolutely. I'll feel a lot more comfortable with the challenge ahead of us once we expand our facilities. And maybe I should have started with this. When families apply as an out-of-district transfer, if we get to a point to where we say we don't have capacity and it's still before the deadline to apply, which, as you just approved tonight, that date is May 1. Now, we still accept students after May 1, but if there's not capacity as of May 1, then anyone who applied before that deserves equal opportunity to have a spot. After the deadline, as we are approving people, we can approve or not approve based on our capacity. And again, it could be the bottom range of that, or it may not be. It all just depends on the other variables that we have information on at that time. And these numbers have to be reset annually. And my recommendation to the board, and this isn't in policy, that we do that during the month of April. And we do that before we start approving any out-of-district transfers.
Any other questions? All right. We have a first and a second. All in favor, those say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
Nay.
Motion carries. All right, next we have Ms. Bright wanted to take some time to go over the Dragon Pals and the progress that it's making. I'm going to move out of the way so everybody can see the screen.
Better? Okay. I'm just going to take a few moments here to give you an update on Dragon Pals and where we're at with that. Now that we're into April and this programming started in August, I feel like I have some good information to give you at this point. It is a portion of the Silver Creek Dragons Foundation. It's a program ran out of the nonprofit. It stands for Promoting Accelerated Learning in Students. We are supportive services in math, ELA, with our English language support learner, or English language learners, and social emotional learners. And we also offer reading support. We also offer transportation, professional development, and we purchase supplies. Dragon Pals is a wraparound service. Like I said, we support our ESL students. We also purchase professional development for Silver Creek teachers. We offer social emotional learning support to our Dragon Pals students. Social emotional learning support is things such as sensory motor integration, insight, collaboration, connection, critical thinking, and growth mindset. It also supports the Indiana Employability Skills Standards, specifically at our high school, but throughout all of our buildings. Teachers have to identify when they write up their lesson plans that they submit weekly, which employability standards they are targeting, in addition to the SEL standards that they're targeting. Also, in addition to the state standard they're targeting with regards to academics. All of those things are on the, all of those items are on the lesson plan that they submit weekly. We offer intervention support to accelerate learning in the following: math and reading, specifically with learning math conceptually, and with reading by activating visual, auditory, tactile, and kinesthetic modalities. We support with reading and writing to learn and be college and career ready, especially at the high school level. And we offer after-school sessions aimed at targeting learning gaps, and we offer transportation for our after-school sessions. So our supports are not just after school, but we also have all these supports during the school day. Some may wonder, how does a student qualify for our push-in support services? If a student is below or approaching on a state standardized test score such as iLearn, iStep, and iRead, then they would qualify. If they're below grade level on a school district test such as NWEA or IXL scores, then they would qualify. And also we consider their classroom assessments. 65% or less on math or reading classroom assessments such as test and quizzes would qualify a student for our push-in support services. So back in last summer, when the foundation applied for this grant, we were awarded a little over $800,000. It became evident around October when we started our after-school services that we would need additional funding to be able to continue this and to sustain our programming into the next year. So I completed another grant application and was awarded a little bit over $400,000, which brought us to our total of $1,262,678 for funding August 2021 to May 2023. Since the start of the programming until now, we have spent $27,290 on professional development. As Ms. Hawkins stated, a portion of that went to the NCTM conference to send teachers K through 12 to Indianapolis. We were able to send 11 teachers. We've also spent funds on Orton Gilliam professional development. You can see the number there. Conceptual math workshops, 7,202, and some professional development through what's called life skills for social emotional learning. We spent 354. And then we have some future PD coming up, August 2022, where we will be spending $12,400 for Graham Fletcher to come in for 2 days and spend that time with the primary and elementary. If you're not familiar with Mr. Fletcher, we're all very excited because he's well known throughout the U.S. As being a well-renowned math specialist, and we're all very, very excited that he's coming to Sellersburg. For supplies and progress monitoring tool, we have spent $27,208. IXL, we spent $8,000, and then for the whole district, we purchased GimKit, which supports math and reading, and we were able to offer that to all Silver Creek teachers. We also purchased building fact fluency kits, which support the Graham Fletcher conceptual math strategies. And we purchased 2 kits in addition and subtraction, 2 in multiplication and division, which we divided up between the primary and elementary. And then we were also able to support the professional development that we offered through Orton Gilliam with Phonics First kits. And then we also purchased curriculum for some social emotional learning through Second Steps. And then at the high school, we were able to buy sets of books that are housed in the library for our after-school reading coaches there to utilize, but also any teacher at the high school can reach out to the library and utilize these sets of books that we purchased, totaling $2,279. And then there's some other supplies that have come along, your normal things such as whiteboards, markers, and things like that. But we also purchased, as you can see there, the reading and writing strategies books and reading success book for our Dragon Powell employees. For transportation, we have spent $14,526, and this is just on busing. We offer 3 bus routes for the middle school and high school. After those 3 bus routes have run, then they come back on campus and we run those 3 again for the primary and elementary. And I want to give a huge shout out to our bus drivers. They don't have to do this. So we very, very much appreciate that they signed up to do it, because otherwise we would not be able to offer transportation to our Dragon Powell students, and we would not be able to have the participation in it that we do. Staff during the daytime, we have 12 spread out from K through 12. We have 3 in reading, 3 ESL, 1 math support, and 5 mentors. And then after school, we have 5 SEL coaches, 12 math coaches, 13 reading coaches, 9 teacher aides, 6 substitutes, and then nurses, building leaders, and transportation managers add up to 5, which is a total of 50 employees after school. Altogether, that's about 62. And I want to give a huge shout out to our teachers that are working this program. There's a saying, there's no tired quite like teacher tired. So for them to sign on to do this 3 days a week, an extra hour after school, is commendable. It's definitely tough and very much appreciated, and their work is paying off. We are currently servicing 367 students. We have serviced more, if you include all students that we started with in August up until now, but currently this is our number. And then I'm going to just get into student progress to wrap this up. So we identified SMART goals in our grant, and we were looking at students earning an additional 10 points every quarter in those areas of math that you see up there, and also in the areas of reading, to be considered showing growth each quarter. We did encounter some exceptional situations where we had to deviate from using IXL, but we still did track growth through other means, so that I could show you this data tonight. At the primary, math, 78% of the students we're servicing showed growth. In reading, 73% showed growth. We are at capacity, so enrollment into our support services at the program, at the primary, is closed at the moment. The elementary data, 58% showed growth in math, 75% showed growth in reading. We are near capacity there, so we're only taking principal referral for iRead students only, and we're hoping to add those students next week. At the middle school, math showed 91% growth in math, and 90% of the students we're servicing showed growth in reading. We do have openings there, and we have a Google form that teachers, counselor, principal can use to refer students, and then we'll follow up with that to bring them on board. It is imperative, though, that the parents and the students are on board with our programming because attendance does play a huge part in getting the most out of this programming. So attendance does need to be consistent. At the high school, 64% showed growth in math and 78% showed growth in reading. We also have openings there. Same idea. There's a Google form that teachers, counselors, principals can use for a referral, and attendance is important to get the most out. Consistent attendance is important to get the most out of programming. And my last slide here is just a note stating that there will be Google Form surveys going out in May to all those teachers, admin, and staff that have had any kind of participation in our programming so that they can give us input. And we will gather that information to guide our plans for next school year. And that's it. Unless you have any questions.
Does the foundation leave all the books, supplies, everything else after the programming's done in May 2023? So everything you purchased so far, are you leaving that, or is the foundation going to take that with them?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear the first part of what you said.
You all have purchased books and reading materials and everything else for this program. Is the foundation going to leave those materials at the school corporation, or is that something you all are going to take with you when the program's done and funding's out?
Yeah, good question. No, those supplies would stay at Silver Creek. They were purchased for that intent, to stay in the building. So if a teacher received materials from us and then say for some, like maybe they retire or go on to something else, or even to a different school, the supplies would not follow the teacher. The supplies would stay at the school.
Okay.
Any other questions for Ms. Bright? Thank you. Next, we have our building administrator reports. Ms. Campbell?
Good evening. I'm Abby Campbell. I'm the principal at Silver Creek Primary School. Just want to take a second to update you on a few things going on in our building. First, we want to celebrate and thank our amazing PTO. We just completed our spring readathon event, and our PTO has raised approximately $15,000. And all of that will be resources that go back to our students and our teachers. We had a large percent, over 50% of our families participate, which is great. And so it was definitely a success. So we want to thank them. We are also excited to announce that finally we can host Camp Kindergarten. This is the first time in 3 years that we've been able to do so. So we're very excited. Camp Kindergarten will take place at Silver Creek Primary on Tuesday, April 26th. The first part from 5:45 to 6:45 is for any students' last names A through L, and then 7 to 8 are last names M through Z. The event is for any incoming kindergartners for the 22-23 school year. All of the students and their families will participate in a scavenger hunt throughout our building. There are 8 stops on the scavenger hunt, and so when they come in the door, they'll be given a bag that says Future Dragon, and each stop throughout the building, they will receive an item for kindergarten readiness. So it might be a miniature dry erase board, it might be magnetic letters, anything that we feel like will help prepare them for kindergarten in the fall. Our transportation department is bringing some buses for kids to get on and walk through that evening just to see what that's like. And Kona Ice will also be there as well. So I welcome anyone to join in the fun. It will be busy, but it will be exciting. So I'm also pleased to celebrate several of our kindergarten and first grade classes. They have successfully published class books. Each student in the class completes a page all about them. So one side of the page is their writing and the other side of the page is a self-portrait that they drew. The teachers compile a page for each kid plus their own page, and they send those off to be published. And then we have a celebration for the classroom for being published authors. So this has always been an awesome project, but this year as a parent of a kindergartner, I have an even better and deeper appreciation for that. So congratulations to Mrs. Mobley's class, Mrs. Monk's class, Mrs. Everhart's class, Mrs. Bechtel's class, and Mrs. Rasmussen's class on becoming published authors. There may be more in the future, but those are the ones so far. So congratulations to those friends. Any questions for me? Good. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Cyphers, anything else from the elementary school? No, you're fine. Miss Nunn?
Good evening again. At Silver Creek Middle School, we are having a book fair for the first time in a few years. We're excited about all the books. If you have a chance to stop by our library, we have balloons galore in there. Mrs. Walters has welcomed everybody to the book fair, and our students are enjoying that. So thank you to Mrs. Walters for organizing our book fair. We also are having a welcome to middle school. Unfortunately, we do a self-guided tour, not a scavenger hunt, but I like the scavenger hunt idea better. That may sound a little bit more fun to do. Students will be able to go on a Google Forms scavenger hunt to find the different classrooms, and we will do a presentation to just talk about the transition to middle school and how fun and exciting it will be. Not scary at all. I do want to say thank you to the Dragon Pels and to Mrs. Lemaster and to Mrs. Bright. They do make our programs run smoothly every day. When I'm in there, students are learning, they're enjoying it, they're having fun, they're talking to their teachers in a different way than they get to talk to them during the classroom. And I think that relationship does make a big difference in the amount of learning that's happening there. So, and thank you for all the PD and the GIM kit as I walk around there being used daily and much fun with the GIM kit. At this time, I would like to recognize our cheerleaders. I said that back in basketball season, that this is one of the hardest working group of athletes we have at the middle school, and they deserve much recognition. This is a group, and I'm going to list some of the competitions that they've been to. Not only did they win timeout in state in 2018 and 2021, the full out state champions in 2018, 2019, 2020, and 2021. They have also competed and won first place in all but one of the following competitions: Confetti Ball, Tri-West, Mount Vernon competition, Pendleton, Jeff Jingle, Battle of the Bows, Christmas Challenge, Charlestown competition, Lake Central championship, and Fear the Cheer challenge. I love the names of these challenges and these competitions, and their champions. Our cheer team is Saria Khan, Hadley Cook, Demi DeWeese, Emily Dreyer, Araya Groan, Kate Lemaster, Aubrey Nifong, Jacqueline Shuck Brown, Savannah Spillman, Liliana Whitsett, Aaliyah Betancourt, Eli Drain, Emery Holman, Kiera Keene, Bella McKim, Reese McRae, Caitlin Murphy, Austin Neenhouse, Elizabeth Clive, Brooklyn Lovins, Emma Manucci, Emma Reidenauer, and Zelid Tridemar. And again, if you have not seen these athletes perform, it is incredible the feats that they do. When we're at the ball games, they really do get the crowd into it, and it's exciting to watch them. So thank you. Any questions for the middle school?
I'd also just say congratulations to the coaches too. They put a lot of work in there. I know Tori and the ladies. And as a cheer dad, and yes, if you see me there, I'm one of those guys who are up cheering and yelling. And I've been to every one of those balls, and it's a blast. But yes, they work hard. So thank you.
Thank you. Dr. Eckert?
Okay, at Silver Creek High School, named Citizens of the Month for the month of March. We had one from each class. The freshman winner was Ruben Lamaster. The sophomore winner was Mary Cruz Lopez. Junior was Ethan Shepard, and senior was Ella Morrow. So they received gift cards today for receiving that recognition. On Saturday, we had the ISMA High School Concert Choir contest, and our choir, under the direction of Jacqueline Colwell, performed. They were nothing short of magnificent. They won they received a gold rating and received a plaque for their efforts. Also, our band had two concerts, or two performances Saturday. This was at Floyd Central. And one of the things that they've been working on all year was to try to win the All Music Award. And their performance on Saturday locked that award up for them. So they received a plaque for their efforts in winning the ISMA All Music Award. And basically, you have to do well in a lot of different concerts. Marching band, jazz band, and then our in solo competitions with our different students, and also the various ensembles. They have to do well enough, and you gather those points, and if you have enough points, you get in the classification of All Music Awards. So very proud of our band and choir students, and congratulations to Alex Smith on all the hard work with our band students. Again, they just sounded unbelievable on Saturday. Some upcoming things. We do have the senior trip to Washington, D.C. Of course, we weren't able to go the last 2 years, but this will be about, I think it's number 45. It's 45th trip that our seniors have taken to Washington, D.C. We have 91 students signed up to go. And we'll be leaving on Saturday night about 6 p.m. We drive throughout the night, and we get up the next morning, and we go to Arlington Cemetery first thing. I know the principal's going to be awfully tired, but you kind of run off fumes that whole week. So really looking forward to that. Miss Albrand, Amanda Albrand, and Miss Aline Harris are the senior class sponsors, and they have worked extremely hard planning that trip and setting up all the different appointments and so forth. So, but it's a first-class trip. We have the same bus driver that has drove on all 45 trips. Beanie, he's signed up for another year. So, and I've gone on a lot of trips with him throughout the middle school years and everything. So, looking forward to seeing him. We also have our senior prom coming up on May 14th. That's at 7 p.m., and that's going to be at the Grand. This year, Miss Holstein and Miss Jackson are working very hard on that, so we look forward to that as well. Also, our Academy of Finance students, they're in New York City right now. They're April 10th through the 13th, so they'll be back here in a couple days. One of our students, Lucas Densford, we just got word that he received a $2,000 scholarship from the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants. That's a nationally competitive scholarship. So Lucas Densford, again, is one of our senior accounting students. So we're very proud of him and pleased that he received that award. That's all I got. Thanks.
Any questions for Dr. Eckert?
No, thank you very much.
Thank you. Ms. Drain, do you have anything? Is Ms. Granger here? No. All right. Mr. Smith? Ms. Hawkins? Mr. Ballmer? Never takes an opportunity not to talk.
I want to thank our community. Our needs are long overdue for Silver Creek, and I want to thank them for their support. I'm very excited for what's to come, but it's a big win for Silver Creek. I want to thank our board for being bold and for advocating for our needs. There were tough decisions to be made. If there's anything I've learned so far about this board is while they're all individuals, their heart and soul is into Silver Creek, and they prioritize making some difficult decisions in the best interest. So thank you all. Want to thank our fearless leader there, Dr. Briggs, and his patience with a new CFO and assistant superintendent. So thank you. But he advocates every day for us as well, and it gives a lot of input and guides us along the way. I also just want to thank everybody in the process. There's been a lot of planning for these upcoming building projects. So our architect, CSO, I want to thank you, Skillman, our building principals, and our teachers. There's been countless hours of people willing to sacrifice time to make sure we do this right. And we're very excited about the shovels hitting the ground. So thanks to all, and especially our community, for supporting us along the way. Also want to thank Dragon Palace Follow Up Miss Bright. I have students in that program. I have seen progress firsthand. I'm thankful for the teachers who are volunteering as well. It is making a huge difference, and I can speak and account for that personally. So thank you so much. Also, just to echo, girls basketball team, congratulations. And then Ava Allen. And then, of course, Mr. Smith with the band and choir. Thank you for all you do for our students. And also, Becky Arnold, happy belated 60th birthday, and thank you for coming out to notarize our documents tonight. And board, I will need some signatures after this, after the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you. Dr. Briggs?
Well, I'll just echo everyone's thoughts. Congratulations to our student athletes. Thank you to everyone who's doing things with our textbook adoption and everything with our academics. And it's a busy time, but always has been, always will be. So thank you.
Mr. Basham?
I'd like to just touch base on what Todd talked about. For some of us that's been around the Silver Creek campus for many years, a couple of us was in the high school building when it was still pretty new. It was nice facilities, but it's been needing major makeover for probably 20 years. And there's someone that's not here that I'd like to thank him, and that's Doug Kaufman. Because if it wasn't for Doug Kaufman's foresight, we wouldn't be at the point that we are now, that we're finally going to see improvements on all of our Silver Creek campus. So again, Doug had a big part of this, even though he's not here right now. And for our present board, for the foresight that we've seen, that we noted that it needed to be done now, and we couldn't afford to put it down the road. So again, like Todd said, I'd like to thank the public for getting behind us, because there's still challenges ahead. The money is still going to be tight, but when we're done in a few years, I think everybody's going to be real impressed.
Ms. Bright?
Yeah, I just want to echo the same, that I really appreciate the community's support, which we felt like we would have with regards to these building projects that are very, very, very much needed. And like Mr. Balmer said, there's been a lot of work and planning that has gone into this, and a lot of thought. And, we're trying very intentionally to be fiscally minded in these building projects. And also to the principals that come out for these meetings. I know you have busy days, especially right now. And so just one more thing on your plate. I know it's a lot, but we do appreciate, even though we don't say much when you're up here, we just kind of nod and go on, but it does allow us to feel connected to what you are doing in the buildings. And so even though if we don't say a lot, know that your input at these meetings is appreciated.
Mr. Groen?
I'm ready for the shovels to start hitting the ground, like everybody else. Truly excited. It's long overdue, like Joe had said. In the end, we are looking forward to the new Silver Creek School Corporation become the creme of Southern Indiana. I think we have the right person at the helm. I think we have the great support of all of our staff, principals, administrators, and also most importantly, our parents. But when you go home, hug those children, because there's going to be a new era coming around Silver Creek Dragons. So let's hatch those dragons and grow them up to be the greatest representatives of Sellersburg that we've ever had.
I'll just echo ditto everything that everybody said. But the one thing I did want to mention that on top of all the great things that I'm extremely thankful for is that our Academy of Finance students were not involved or anywhere close to the massacre that happened in New York City today. That was when that news broke, my heart kind of sank. And because I know they take subway rides and different things like that. So really grateful for that. Next meeting dates, we're going to have our next regular scheduled meeting. We're moving from Tuesday the 26th due to an ISBA meeting in Seymour that we will all attend. So it'll be Monday, April 25th at the elementary school in the PDAC room. On Tuesday, May 10th, we'll be back here at Silver Creek Primary School at 6:30, and Tuesday, May 24th here at the primary school at 6:30. That being said, do we have a motion for adjournment?
I so move.
Second.
Ms. Bright makes the motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Mr. Basham seconds. All of those in favor, please. Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Meeting adjourned at 7:32.
Thank you all for coming.
You were so